Okay, so today we are going to explore the quadratic form. We're going to see what does the quadratic form tell us, what can we find from the quadratic form, sorry, not the quadratic, I'm talking about the factors. I mean, they're all quadratics. So we're going to talk about the factors form, what features does it give us from the graph, and things like that. So what I have here, I have y equals x plus 2 times x plus 1. Right? We know this is in factored form because you have the two brackets and they're multiplied together and the binomials. And this is the graph. Can you guys see the graph? Not clearly, but we can. Right?
Yeah, but we have it.
You guys have it a little bit. Okay. So what are the zeros?
Negative 2 and negative 1.
So what's the question of negative?
What are the zeros?
Negative 2 and 0, negative 1 and 2.
Good. Were you here yesterday? Y-intercept. What is your y-intercept?
2.
2. How would I write it in point form?
0 equals
0, 2. Okay? Or I can write y-intercept equals 2, but I would like you to get used to the point. Now, good luck finding the verticals.
negative 1.5 and negative 0.5 and negative 1.5.
Negative 1.5 and what is it?
Is 0.5.
I think it's negative 0.25. Yeah, because this 0.5 is right here. 0.5 is right here. So that's negative 1.
Okay, so
No, that's negative 1. It's right here.
Oh, this is a 1 down here?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a point.
So that looks like negative 0.25.
Yeah.
So negative 1.5 and negative 0.2. So where would your axis of symmetry be?
minus 1.5?
Negative 1.
Yeah, negative 1.
What's your optimal value?
Negative 0.25.
What are your zeros?
Negative and 3 and 0.
Your y-intercept? 0. 0, 6. Okay. What's your vertex?
1.75.
I think that's negative 5. And that looks like 8. So the axis of symmetry is x equal negative 1. And the optimal value is y equals 8. Okay? So we got all this information from the graph itself. Okay? Now, the question is asking you to compare the equation of each graph to its key feature. What information about the key features of the parabola can you take from this form of the equation? So I'm going to go back down here, and I want you to look at the equations, and I want you to look at the key features, and I want you to tell me, what do you think I can relate the equation to what key feature?
is the optimal value?
It's a x value with.
Sorry, John, what did you say? I heard you say. The zeros. Look at the zeros. These are the zeros. This is your equation. How are the zeros and the equation related?
Because there is two.
Yes, plus 2, when it's come outside, so
We
it's
will-
negative 2.
Yeah?
Opposite side.
Yeah,
Plus
negative
1.
1.
Negative
Yeah,
1. So, factors form, you can find your zeros. Okay? So if you look here, plus 3 in the equation, negative 3 is your 0. Plus minus 1, or in your equation, 1 is your 0. Okay? So, in factored form, you can find your zeros. Okay? And it's opposite to what you see. I'll show you how to find the zeros. We'll do like a whole lesson on finding the zeros. Okay? But you need to know that if you want to find the zeros, the best bet is to put it in factors. Okay? So an equation in factors form, which we call, which looks like this: ax minus r x minus s. So you'll see the a value, which is basically tells you your vertical stretch, vertical compression. We talked about that before. But now we see two factors, right? We see x minus something or plus. It will be the opposite, and then x minus s. It tells you the location of the x-intercepts or the zeros. So as we've seen, that's always the opposite. So the zeros must be removed from the bracket. So always, whenever I'm finding the zeros, I am setting every factor. So I'm setting the x minus s equal to 0. And I am setting the x minus r equal to 0, and I'm solving for x. Okay? Which means I do like this: x equals, bring the s, negative s over, it becomes a positive x. X equals, bring the negative r over, it becomes an r. Okay? So these are your zeros. Okay? So you set each factor equal to 0, and you solve for x. Let's look at an example. It would make more sense. Okay? So, let's find the zeros for these ones. To find the zeros, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take this, x minus 2, you're going to set it equal to 0.
Okay.
And then you're going to isolate for x, right? Opposite operation. Bring the negative 2 over, it becomes a positive 2. So that's one of the zeros. Okay? Same for this one. You're going to set it equal to 0. Bring the 1 over, it becomes a negative 1. This is your other zero.
What's the
Side
use?
by ones.
Switch the sides.
Because,
What's the use of
what if you have something that looks like this? Find the zeros for me. Where are they?
Well, there is no a value. So
It doesn't have to have any value. Give me the zeros.
you have to solve the whole equation now. No?
What are your zeros?
The zeros.
No, we have to multiply.
The one and
Division.
no.
You have to
Oh.
do So this 1/3 miss, maybe 1/3.
Yes, but you had to do the solving,
I knew that.
right? You had to do the solving, right?
Somebody
So
said
that's
I had
why
to.
I mean, if it's as simple as that, you guys don't have to show me all this work.
Alright.
But if your answer is wrong, I will give you a 0, right?
Sure.
But if you show me the work and your answer is wrong, I will look at your work and say, they messed up by doing this. And I'll probably give you part points, right? Again, yes, you can look at your equation and say x minus 2, so that x equals to 2. Yes, you can do that. But when it gets more complicated, then you're going to actually have to solve for it. Okay? And that's doing opposite operation.
And plus, you looks beautiful. I want you to say that I don't.
Thanks. Okay? So are you guys okay with this?
No.
No, what's wrong, Stephanie? What's
You did
wrong?
that so fast, I didn't catch on.
I will, which one? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, bringing the positive one over, it becomes a negative one. Right? Then I have 3x equals negative, I have 3x equals negative 1.
Okay.
I want to get rid of the 3. It's a multiplication. What's the opposite of that?
Okay, now I get it. The same thing.
Same thing, the same thing, the cross cancellation.
Yeah? Okay. Are we good? Can I erase this example? You don't have to write this. This is just off topic. It's not off topic. It's
Just to
off.
mess up our brains.
Yes.
It's just for me to prove to you why you have to do this. Okay.
Prove that this is the man.
Now, the question that we're trying to solve here is not this. I'm just showing you how to find this goes. The question is, factored form can be converted to standard form by doing what? So this is factored form, right? I want to change factored form to standard form. What's standard form?
Y equal to x.
Solve the equation.
Plus ax.
So you have to.
How can I go from factored?
Four.
What other word is for four?
Oh,
There's a word that starts with an E.
Where's four?
expand it.
Expand.
Expand. Yeah.
Expand. Okay, remember that the opposite of factoring is expanding.
Sorry, what is the opposite from four?
The opposite of factoring
Factoring.
is expand.
Okay.
Foil is just a different method.
FOIL is just a method, right? So, to go from factored to standard, we expand. Okay, let's expand. What do you do when you expand?
We don't do this step here, or what?
You don't do the 3, okay?
X-ray. Foil.
Foil, okay? So you're gonna leave the 3 alone, and you're gonna foil, right?
Square.
So x squared plus x minus 2x minus 2. Are we okay with this or no? X squared. I know you guys do first.
Give me, so it's 1x.
Outer.
Outer.
Okay, x
1x.
times 1 is 1x.
Yeah, me.
Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Okay? I can multiply the 3 in now. I can distribute the 3 in, or I can simplify first and then distribute the 3. It doesn't matter which way you go.
Which one is better?
I'm gonna simplify first, just because it. Okay? Then multiply the 3 in, so distribute that 3 in. That will give you 3x squared minus 3x minus 6. Okay? So what I did here is I expanded. So from factored to standard you expand. What do you do if you're going from standard to factor? We did that like 2 days ago. Standard to factored, what do you do?
Expand.
No.
What's
We did
the
already
other one?
understand.
Factor.
Simplify, man.
Factor.
Factor. Factor.
Greatest common factor.
Factor.
How?
Okay? What can you get from the factored form? What kind of information? Sorry, the standard form. What kind of information does the standard form give you?
Y plus y value.
Y the intercept, y intercept, which is,
Negative 6.
Yeah. See.
right? That's the only thing that the y-intercept will give you. Is, sorry, the standard form will give you is the y-intercept.
See that.
Okay? So far we've learned a few things. We've learned how to go previously from vertex to standard. And we learned how to go from standard to factored and from factored to standard. Okay? These are the things. I will put it all together at the end. What happened? Apparently I have to save after every page because something is happening to my computer. And I'm losing all of that.
All time style is old time style.
Yeah.
Same after every page.
Do you want me to go back to the previous page?